you think a military deployment near Iran is just push-ups and driving heavy trucks? You imagine action movies, clear skies, and easy victories. You are entirely wrong. Right now, in the early days of March 2026, the reality is a nightmare. A massive, unprecedented operation has just begun across the region. The United States and its allies have launched a historical campaign against a major nation. The supreme leadership of that nation has been permanently neutralized, and the retaliation is currently raining down across the entire Gulf. If you are stationed there right now, you are not just a soldier, you are the shield. You are sitting directly in the crosshairs of an enraged empire. This is the hierarchy of survival during the most intense conflict of the decade. Every hour brings a new alert, a new threat, and a new test of your sanity. It starts the moment your heavy boots touch the desert sand. Welcome to the front line of tomorrow. Level 1. The Arrival. You are 20 years old, freshly deployed to El Udeid Air Base in Qatar. It is the largest American facility in the Middle East. 10,000 personnel live here, surrounded by endless desert. The heat is suffocating, pushing past 100 degrees even in the morning. For the first few weeks, the routine is incredibly boring. You eat at the massive dining facility, you hit the gym, you clean your gear. You complain about the Wi-Fi speed and the terrible coffee. But underneath the boredom, there is a thick layer of tension. Everyone watches the news screens playing in the background. The diplomatic talks with the regime across the water are completely breaking down. The base starts running unexpected readiness drills in the middle of the night. Supply planes land constantly, dropping off thousands of tons of mysterious cargo. Heavy Patriot interceptor batteries are being positioned all along the perimeter. Your commanding officer stops smiling during the morning briefings. He tells everyone to keep their tactical gear within arm's reach at all times. You start sleeping with your heavy boots right next to your bed. The older veterans on the base tell you to enjoy the quiet while it lasts, because when the balloon goes up, the quiet never comes back. You call your family on a secure line, pretending everything is perfectly normal. You tell your mother that you are just fixing trucks in a safe zone. But when you look up at the sky, you see heavy strategic bombers taking off. B-1 Lancers and stealth aircraft are leaving the runway every single hour. They are flying east, heavily loaded. The waiting game is over. The storm has arrived. Level 2. The Spark. It is late February. You are sitting in the recreation room. Suddenly, every screen switches to a presidential address. The Commander-in-Chief announces the beginning of Operation Epic Fury. He confirms that an unprecedented aerial campaign is underway. The supreme leader of the opposing regime has been successfully neutralized in his compound. The room goes completely silent. Nobody breathes. You realize history is being written while you are standing in the room. Within 60 seconds, the entire base transitions to threat level Delta. The giant loudspeakers outside blare a deafening warning tone. Heavily armed security forces lock down all the main gates. Civilian contractors are immediately moved into underground shelters. You are ordered to put on your heavy protective gear. 30 pounds of ceramic plates, a helmet, and a gas mask attached to your hip. The air smells like jet fuel and adrenaline. The Commander-in-Chief issues a statement that retaliation is not a possibility, it is a certainty. The enemy has vowed a severe response named Truthful Promise 4. Intelligence suggests they will target American infrastructure across the entire region. Bahrain, Kuwait, the Emirates, and your base in Qatar are all on the list. You are handed a rifle and assigned to perimeter defense. You stand in a concrete guard tower staring out into the pitch-black desert. Your radio crackles with constant updates from the radar operators. The radar shows dozens of unknown contacts lifting off from the east. They are fast, they are flying low, and they are heading your way. The sky is about to fall. Level 3. The target. The base alarm system screams a single, terrifying phrase. Incoming! 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 You have exactly 2 minutes to seek hard cover. You run toward the reinforced concrete bunkers. Hundreds of soldiers are sprinting alongside you, entirely focused on survival. You dive into the bunker just as the heavy steel door is sealed shut. You sit on the floor in the dark, shoulder to shoulder with people you barely know. Then the ground begins to vibrate. Outside, the Patriot defense systems open fire. The sound is deafening. It is a mechanical, rhythmic roaring that shakes your teeth. Massive interceptors launch into the night sky, creating trails of brilliant white smoke. You hear the deep, heavy thuds of intercepts happening miles above you. But no defense system is absolutely perfect. A heavy projectile slips through the net. It impacts a service facility on the far side of the base. The shockwave hits the bunker a second later, knocking dust from the ceiling. The lights flicker and go out completely. You are sitting in pitch darkness, listening to the destruction outside. The radio crackles, reporting impacts at the naval base in Bahrain. Residential buildings and hotel areas in Dubai are also taking hits from debris. The retaliation is massive, unguided, and totally desperate. You realize that billions of dollars of technology are fighting a war directly over your head. If the concrete roof above you fails, you are gone. You grip your rifle tightly, waiting for the all-clear signal. But the radar operators report that a second wave has just launched. Level 4. The chaos. The attacks continue for hours. The sky is a chaotic mess of friend and foe. Establishing air superiority is the primary goal, but it is extremely dangerous. Hundreds of Allied jets are operating in the same airspace as enemy drone swarms. In modern conflict, the most terrifying threat is the fog of war. Communication lines are jammed, and radar systems are overloaded with targets. You are listening to the tactical feeds when a shocking report comes in. Kuwaiti air defense systems have just engaged multiple aircraft, but the aircraft were not the enemy. In a tragic case of friendly fire, 3 American F-15 fighter jets are mistakenly shot down. The entire base command center freezes in disbelief. The systems designed to protect the coalition just fired upon their own. Search and rescue teams are immediately scrambled into the chaotic zone. By a miracle, all 6 aircrew members managed to eject safely. They are recovered in stable condition, but the psychological damage is done. You look at the automated defense systems around your own base differently now. The machines are stressed. The operators are exhausted. Every blip on the screen is a life or death decision made in milliseconds. Meanwhile, the enemy is targeting the economic lifeline of the world. A drone strikes a major Saudi Arabian oil refinery, causing a massive fire. A United States-flagged oil tanker is hit by a projectile in the Gulf. The global stock markets crash by 1,000 points in a single morning. Aviation hubs shut down, leaving millions of travelers stranded globally. You realize you are not just fighting a military force, you are fighting an attempt to collapse the entire global economy. Level 5. The reality. By the 3rd day, the adrenaline wears off, leaving only exhaustion. You have slept maybe 4 hours total. The base is functioning on emergency protocols. Then the Central Command issues an official update that stops everyone in their tracks. The operation is no longer casualty-free. 4 American service members have officially lost their lives in the conflict. 5 others are seriously wounded. They were part of a logistics unit, doing the same job you do. The names are not released immediately, which makes the anxiety worse. You look around the mess hall at your friends. For the first time, you truly understand the cost of the uniforms you wear. This is not a training exercise. This is a lethal exchange. The president gives a somber address, confirming the losses. He warns the nation that there will likely be more sacrifices before the mission ends. The weight of those words hangs heavy over the entire base. You walk out to the flight line and watch the bombers returning from their missions. They are empty, covered in soot, and immediately being reloaded. The mechanics work like machines, completely silent. There is no cheering, no high fives like in the movies. There is only a grim, professional determination to finish the job. You receive a text message from your mother. She has seen the news about the casualties and the friendly fire. She begs you to stay safe and come home. You reply that you are perfectly fine, typing the lie with trembling hands. Level 6. The Horizon. The initial shock passes, replaced by a grueling new reality. The Secretary of Defense announces that this is not a short engagement. The operations are expected to last for up to 5 weeks. 5 weeks of sleeping in body armor. 5 weeks of running to the bunkers every time the sirens scream. The enemy is heavily damaged, but they are not empty. They continue to launch intermittent waves of drones and projectiles. You develop a strange sixth sense for danger. You can tell the difference between the sound of an outgoing interceptor and an incoming threat. The base becomes a highly efficient fortress. The mess hall serves food in rapid shifts. The supply planes never stop bringing in more defensive munitions. You watch international news trying to negotiate a ceasefire, but the leaders on both sides refuse to step back. The world's economy remains deeply unstable. The Strait of Hormuz is practically closed to civilian shipping. You realize that your presence here is the only thing preventing a total regional collapse. You are the wall between order and absolute chaos. The psychological toll begins to show on the younger soldiers. You see people staring at the walls, completely burned out, but you cannot afford to break. You clean your rifle, you check your gas mask seal. You look out over the desert horizon, watching the sun set over the sand. You brace yourself for another night in the concrete hotel. Level 7. The End. Eventually, the 5 weeks will pass. The heavy machinery of war will slowly grind to a halt. The skies over the Gulf will clear. The commercial flights will return to Dubai and Qatar. The world will go back to arguing about stock prices and politics. But you will never view the world the same way again. You have survived the largest regional conflict in modern history. You have seen the sky catch fire. You have felt the concrete shake beneath your boots. You pack your gear into your duffel bag to finally head home. You leave the sand behind, but a part of you stays on the base. You remember the sound of the sirens. You remember the 4 who didn't get to pack their bags. When you walk through the airport in the United States, everything feels too quiet. People are drinking lattes and complaining about delayed flights. They have absolutely no idea what it takes to keep this peace intact. They don't know about the men and women standing in the desert darkness. You don't tell them. They wouldn't understand. You are a different person now. You are a veteran of Operation Epic Fury. A new young soldier will take your bunk in El Udeid tomorrow. He will complain about the heat and the Wi-Fi, and he will wait, just like you did, to be the shield. Welcome to the life.